Today I'm trying the Gustin 341 Indigo Monster Shashiko pant. They're made out of a rope textured fabric inspired by traditional shashiko stitching, and I'm trying them out with 8 different cowboy boots featuring 8 different toe shapes so you can see if these pants are gonna be right for you. Let's get into it.
I'm just here to connect ya, and then I'll be on my way.
Hey everybody, my name is Jeremiah Craig. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please subscribe and always like and comment down below. You know, I've tried about 4 pairs of Gustin jeans this year. This will be the 5th. I've tried straight fit, I've tried slim fit with a whole bunch of different kinds of cowboy boots, and I kind of wanted to see what their more unique style of pant was like. The other ones were just jeans. They were just regular. You know, when I tried the herringbone jean, I was kind of interested in trying something a little bit more modern, unique, but I wasn't sure if that would land with some folks. Some of you got in the comment section of that video and said, no, we want to see the unique stuff. So here we go. I have the 341 Indigo Monster Shashiko pant. But what is shashiko? What does it mean? I had to look it up. Shashiko is a traditional Japanese sewing technique that dates back to the 1600s. It literally means little stabs, and it was originally used to reinforce and repair clothing. But today shashiko is most often used for decorative purposes, and the 341 here is inspired by this sewing technique. So from my understanding, it doesn't actually utilize it. It's just trying to get that same texture, that same kind of feeling, the same vibe. What Gustin has done here, to my understanding, is that they're trying to replicate the shashiko look, and they used a cotton cord or a plush cotton rope in a dobby weave to recreate the prominent stitch with the geometric lines. And after doing a little bit more research about the dobby, cotton dobby is great for warm weather because it is light and it breathes very well. So I can already feel that this is light, and who knows how that will work with some of these cowboy boots. We'll find out in a minute. But first, we have to break down the details with the rundown. Alright, this is the 341 Indigo Monster Shashiko 5-pocket pant from Gustin. And it's a traditional indigo color. And dye bleed is expected here, so be careful of wearing these pants with your lighter color boots. It's 100% cotton and a 12-ounce fabric. We see a button fly here, and on the back, we can find a hand-stamped leather patch. These Gustin pants are made in the USA, and I picked the straight fit. I found that the Gustin straight fit works amazing with the cowboy boots when it comes to jeans. We're gonna have to see how that works with the pants. But really, the straight fit means that it sits at the waist and it's straight through the seat and thigh. We also have a really nice leg opening for cowboy boots. It's around 15 to 16 inches. But just so you know, each size is different and proportional. The best thing that you could do is look at the Gustin chart before ordering. There's only 2 inseams, so every waist size between 29 and 33 basically has an inseam size of 34. If you're at a waist size of 34 and above, then you have an inseam size of a 36. So these pants can come in kind of long. I'm 6'1", 200 pounds. I got the size 35, so that means my inseam is 36, which is an inseam that I like for my height. They also recommend maybe sizing up for this fabric, and they compared it to the 567, which I tried earlier this year. That was a 35, so I ordered the 35 here. There's a couple of different prices for these pants at Gustin's website, and that's because they do crowdfunding and have in-stock prices. Crowdfunding allows them to just make what is ordered, which saves them lots of cost and lots of waste. The crowdfunding price for these pants is $109, but you might not expect to see those pants until like March or April maybe. The in-stock price of these pants is $119 at the time of this recording, and you might be able to see those by Christmas if you ordered relatively soon. So, very big difference between the crowdfunding arrival and the in-stock arrival. Not so much of a difference in price, maybe $10. Now let's try on these pants with 8 different kinds of cowboy boots. All right, let's kick things off with a roper boot. This is a Gustin 3802. It's a vintage model, now discontinued, with a roper round toe, a 1-inch heel, and it comes up about 10 inches tall. This pant is definitely very lightweight feeling. It's 12 ounces, so I've tried lighter jeans and lighter pants before, but the vibe of it is just very flowy, and I like the way it fits up here. With some of these roper boots, you get a bucket effect sometimes if you try to stack, just because it's a shorter top. So here we can see, because these pants are so flowy, we're getting a little bit of a bucket effect. But let's see what happens when we cuff. You could also potentially get these pants hemmed if you wanted to bring them up a little bit, which is a great opportunity to get them your perfect size. As you can see, when we hem the pant, or not hem, but when we cuff it, you would get a similar effect if you hemmed it. We're not getting the bucket effect as much. So with the roper, I would say it looks better cuffed, or if you were to do it hemmed, that might be a good way to go. But, you know, to kick things off, this pant might be just a little bit too lightweight for a roper boot. I have a feeling that they're going to work really well with some of the taller vintage boots. They got narrow tops and maybe around 12 to 13 inches tall, and I got a feeling that this is just going to work great with those vintage models. In fact, let's try one later. Right now, let's go to a utoe with a new Hondo boot. All right, here we have a Hondo 2670, also known as the Jeremiah. They named this boot after me, and it's got a utoe, a 2-inch heel, and it comes up about 14 inches tall. And you can see how that taller top is really allowing the pants to just flow over top of it. Much more easy, much more seamless than what we saw with the roper boot. So if you got a tall enough top, this is the case with a lot of pants. I come to find that the roper boots and how short they are, if you're trying to stack a little bit, which I found more comfortable, it often gets a bucket effect, but not so much with some of these taller tops. I really like this look. The pant almost looks purple in this lighting, even though it is an indigo color. I would have to say that this is kind of purple. So I'm wondering how it's gonna fade. Apparently it will fade quite a bit, and I look forward to seeing how it ages like that. If we cuff these here and see what it might look like hemmed, or just cuffed if you don't really want to hem your pants, you know, that's a fine look too. I kind of like this better, stacked, this side here. I like this look a lot better than this look on these boots, but I would have to say it would be the reverse for the ropers. Now let's try an rtoe. All right, here's a fun pairing. This is a Tony Llama 6915 bone white color boots. It's got an rtoe on there and some toe tips, about a 1 3/4 inch heel, or 1 5/8, and it comes up about 13 inches tall. When I saw these pants, when I got them out of the bag, I was like, holy moly, those are unique, and they just scream, wear some cool boots with me. And I had to try the white ones here, these bone white color ones, since they're kind of almost purplish. They got a cool texture and everything, and I really like this vibe. This is really cool. Just very different and kind of fun, right? These are fun kind of pants that are different from your ordinary pants that you might have in your wardrobe, and it just kind of encourages me or inspires me to wear some fun boots with them. And the white with the purple, I think this is classic, and I think I like it a little bit better, kind of going a little bit more stacked. As I mentioned, this is a 36, and I like the fit around the thighs and the waist, This is a cool look. I like this. These pants just ask for something fancy, something different, and I think we accomplished that with these Tony Lama 6915 bone white boots. Let me know what you think. Now let's move to a jtoe. All right, here we have a jtoe cowboy boot. This is a Gustin model number 9035. It's got a beautiful jtoe elephant leather foot and counter, about a 1 3/4 inch heel, and comes up about 12 inches tall. You know, this is a classic look too. I like the vintage boots with these very unique pants that kind of have a vintage vibe to them. Like they feel old, like a style that you don't usually see. I don't know if I've ever seen pants made like these before, but it just seems like that herringbone style of jean that I tried from Gustin earlier. It's like, it kind of reminisces to like maybe Amish style almost, or just like 50s. Like these pants, the style just feels vintage. Whether it is or not, I'm not sure. But it goes very well with vintage boots, or vintage style boots. So one of the things that I didn't mention with the bone white boots in the last segment there was that if I were to wear those boots and these pants new, it would get probably a little bit of dye bleed onto those white boots. And I'm gonna say something similar to these cognac color boots. So as you're maybe breaking these pants in, it might be in your best interest to wear darker shoes, darker boots, black boots, chocolate colored boots, things like that, because you might end up getting a little line there where the pants meet the boot, and whether that's something that you want on your boot could say a lot, right? It could be a cool look, but it also could be something that could potentially ruin your boots if that's not what you want to happen. So I'm saying right now, maybe when you're breaking these in, wear them for short periods of time with some darker color boots to get it kicked off until sort of that pigment, that dye bleed starts to become less and less over time. Let's do a little bit of cuffing here just to see how we like it. Again, it's okay. I kind of like it, but I like it stacked a little bit more. Also, it's more comfortable to me when the jeans or pants are a little bit longer when I'm sitting down. It doesn't feel like it rides up or pinches anywhere because there's enough length to, you know, sit down comfortably, right? So that's the jtoe. Let's move it on over to a snip toe boot. Here's our snip toe example. It's a Cowtown full quill ostrich boot with about a 1.5 inch heel, and it comes up about 13 inches tall. Again, these taller boots work great with sort of allowing the pant to fall over the boot in a very seamless way, and I like how it looks. This is a classic style, just great. Let's cuff it a little bit here just to see what it looks like. But man, I love the style and where this pant falls on the boot. Looks great. That straight fit from Gustin just hits every time with these boots, man. Cuff is okay, but I don't know. I'm just really digging the little bit of stack that I have over here. It just looks cool and feels great at the same time, but let me know your thoughts. Now let's try a cutter toe. All right, here's our cutter toe example. This is a horsepower model number 9500. Features a tan rough out there. Got about 1.5 inch heel, and it comes up about 13 inches tall. And this is another good look. But again, you gotta be worried about that dye transfer onto lighter colored leathers, especially rough outs and distressed leathers. I feel like there's more fiber, more friction when it comes to distressed leathers and rough outs. So dye bleed and dye transfer is going to happen a lot more with rough outs, distressed leathers, things like that on the lighter colored ends of things. So I would be really worried if I was going to be wearing these for all day long. There would definitely be some dye transfer from these indigo pants to the tan rough out. I wouldn't really mind it because these boots are just like whatever for me. But if they were a pair of dress boots that you cared about maybe not getting as much dye transfer, I would say be careful about wearing them with these rough outs especially. I like this look. I think it works just as well as any of the other ones. Let's see how it looks cuffed. We get a little bit of that green top underneath the cuff. Kind of reminds me of the Joker, right? The purple and the green. Technically these are indigo, but man, they come across as purple, at least in the lighting where I'm in right now. And they do a little bit online too, so we'll have to see how they fade. I wouldn't mind wearing, I got nothing against purple. I love purple. I think it's the royal color, so it's a good look. But it definitely says something, right? So this is cool, and I'm digging this as well. So these pants are so fun. They're so different, and I'm loving with how they go with most of these boots. I want to know your thoughts, and let's try French toe next. Here we go. This is a French toe example. This is a Boulay 8502 Cayman belly boot. It's got about 1.5 inches heel and comes up about 12 inches tall. This pant is so cool. In fact, all of the straight fits from Gustin just work. The leg opening is perfect. The fit around the thighs is great for me, and the waist as well. This boot often gets swallowed up by a ton of different jeans or pants that I feature here on this channel, but the fact that this leg opening can work with a boot like this, but also work with a boot like the Horsepower one that has a wider base to it just because it's more modern. They got more composites and stuff in there. Those modern boots just like, they get so wide around here, around the base where the heel kind of meets in the boot. And the fact that this pant and pretty much all of the Gustin straight fits just work with so many different kinds of boots is very impressive. This looks really good, and it looks just as good as it did with the cutter toe, even though they are completely different styles. And I think that says a lot about a pant. I'm loving it. I still like the stack better here than the cuff, but I mean, the cuff does look pretty good there of what I can see in that little screen. Maybe I do like the cuff more. Let me know what you like more, and we'll try one more boot here, and of course, it's the infamous wide square toe double stitch welt. All right, here we have a wide square toe double stitch welt boot from Farini, featuring a fish print leather, and it's got about a 1.25 inch heel and comes up about 13 inches tall. These are a little bit more wide, as many modern wide square toe boots are. I mean, just at the top. I mean, not just the wide square, but wide everywhere, even the wide tops. So if this was shorter, which a lot of wide square toe boots are, you'd probably get the same bucket effect that we were seeing with the Roper here. It's okay. We're getting a pretty good outline of it just because these tops are so wide. On many wide square toe boots, that'll be the case just because they're made so cheap, and they cut a lot of corners. So they make the tops really wide, and oftentimes it's not gonna look good with a lighter weight pant like these. This is okay. I'm never excited to wear a double stitch welt wide square toe, especially ones like this, just because they are so poorly made and feel like crap. Here, this is okay. This is a distressed leather, so if you had a similar boot, you're gonna get some dye transfer, like I was mentioning with that rough out. I don't think this looks very good at all, but I was very impressed with how these pants looked with the vintage style boots that we looked at. It's not so good with the more modern version here, like the wide square toe. I felt like it worked with the modern cutter toe. But overall, Gustin jeans coming through again with a great fit here on the straight fit. Let me know what you guys think. This is gonna be a fun pant to wear in the summertime. It is very cool, very lightweight, and it's gonna be fun to pair with a lot of these more unique boots that I have. But as always, I wanna know your thoughts. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace, have a good one.
That Gustin shashiko seems so magnifico. It's light and airy and unordinary, turning heads wherever you go. Thanks so much for watching today. Why don't you check out this other Gustin video up here? Or I got a music video down here I think you might enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe up here, and I will see you next time. Peace. Have a good one.